I'm Donna Charpentier with Hammond Residential, and we're here today to talk about real estate law. Whether you're selling a condo or a co-op or a single family, there are lots of legal considerations to keep in mind and to make sure that your interests are well represented. And so to that end, I have today Yitz Magence from the real estate law firm Gilmartin, Magence and Ross to talk about this topic. Thanks for joining me today, Yitz.
Thanks for having me, Donna.
So I think one of the first questions someone may have who's looking to sell a piece of property is why would they need a real estate attorney and what services would that attorney provide for me? So what would you tell that person?
Well, first I would tell them that technically there's no law that says you have to have a real estate attorney, but it's an excellent idea to do so. The legal aspect of selling real estate can be a very complicated situation, and it has a number of complicated legal documents associated with it that the average person would not be able to navigate without somebody that's been through the process with experience as an attorney.
Can you give an example of what one of those documents might be?
Sure. A perfect example is a purchase and sale agreement, which is the contract between the seller and the buyer, which defines and sets forth both sides, all their responsibilities, as well as all their remedies throughout the process of the transaction. And it can be 7 or 8 pages, and it goes into great detail of what the seller has to do, buyer has to do, so that both have the same expectations. And that can be go into very great detail about the status of the property, etc., which a real estate lawyer would be very helpful in navigating the client through.
Okay. I'm sure it's no surprise to you that oftentimes when someone hears the word lawyer that they immediately think, okay, how much is this going to cost me?
Correct.
So generally speaking, I'm sure there is a range, but what would the typical costs the seller would incur when they hire a real estate attorney?
Typically from start to finish, I would say the range would be somewhere in the $750 to $1,200 range, depending on how complicated the transaction is. Also, what type of property it may be would influence that. But it's a good question because within the range, I would suggest that people hire an attorney that will do the process on a flat fee basis instead of an hourly basis.
Okay. That's good to know. And so my next question was actually going to be the criteria that someone should look for when they're hiring a real estate attorney, and that flat fee may be one of those criteria, but what else should someone be keeping in mind?
Sure, the flat fee is one aspect of the criteria, but the first and foremost is make sure you hire an attorney that is a real estate attorney, not a general practitioner, not somebody who does litigation or divorce work but dabbles in real estate. It's very important to hire somebody who specializes in real estate. And also somebody that is knowledgeable, experienced, accessible, and that has been through the process a number of times.
Great. Well, lots of things to think about certainly, and we'll be speaking again on a number of other topics, so I really appreciate your time today.
Excellent. Thank you.
And thank you.